Hi, everyone. It is Sunday evening. It is Sunday afternoon across the pond in America and Canada. We've got a really good show on this evening for you. I came up with the theme myself. Look how clever I am. So this evening's guests, returning guests, we got Joe from Racer Joe. So thanks very much for joining me again, Joe. Really appreciate it, mate.
Always a pleasure, my friend. Always a pleasure.
Daryl, the Northern Vinyl guy, he returns to the live stream. Thank you for joining me.
I'm back.
Yeah, you had to come back, really, didn't you? And our special guest this evening, one of my favorite people on YouTube, and has been for a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Mr. Mark Morris.
Yay!
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Mark. Being here for the first time, the crowd are about to go wild, so bear with us. There you go. That was just for you, mate.
Love it.
So, yeah. So tonight, I came up with this idea because I've been traveling a lot with work at the moment. And I've been going to record shops more than ever before because of my locations. Now, normally I'd order on Discogs, eBay, Amazon's a big one, another one. So it's going to be a good opportunity to do, record stores versus online shopping. So that's going to be the theme for this evening. The reason why I've picked the three panelists this evening, if anybody doesn't know, Joe has a record shop. And like we discussed last week with David Atkinson, talking about record fairs, Joe started off doing record fairs, and that's how he kind of built up and opened his own record store. So we'll be discussing about that tonight, obviously, as well. Now, I got Daryl on because he's as north as you can possibly get. So I thought it'd be good to have him on, and then obviously having Mark on. To discuss how he goes about, if he goes to record shops or if it's mostly online. So that's the discussion that's going to be tonight. But let's go to the chat first so I can get it cracking. So we've got Trevor, Flat, Round, and Spun. Howdy. How's it going, mate?
G'day, Trevor.
We've got Richard from Richard's Vinyl Tap House on this evening. And we have Steve. A is for Alice, B is for Bob, and C is for community, should we say?
Sure.
So, virtual, no pun intended, who's who of the VC gathering, just like witches at black masses.
I don't get it. Oh, wait. Never mind.
There you go. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Daryl first this evening. So we're going to have a quick chat first, see how the conversation goes, and then go from there. Daryl, I know it's hard for you, mate. I got asked the question, are there any record shops nearby?
That's a good question. And a straight up no. The closest record shop I have, there was like a thrift store down the train tracks, which, if you know my location, that's at least a 5-hour train ride. But from there, if you want to go to the big city or the big town, there's one store, and I'll talk about it later on when I show a couple of them. I've actually got some for today's show. I've got like records that I bought through Discogs, good or bad. I've got some from thrift stores, from online shopping, from mom and pop shops, and also from like major chains, but the good and the bad. So I've kind of got all of that. But in order for me to do it, I have to. I'm more of an online shopper just because I have no choice, and there's pros and cons to that too. Mainly cons when it comes to the costs.
Tariffs?
I don't know if that's a thing yet. Are you paying any tariffs, Daryl? I'm not sure where you're ordering your stuff from. I think you've been ordering from Canada for the most part, right? I think
for the most part, I've been ordering from Canada. Yeah, I've ordered If I order through Discogs, it's Canada. If I order online, I usually try to do like I don't do like I do have a couple here from I've only ever ordered from eBay once. Amazon maybe once or twice, but I usually do it if I do it through Discogs, I try to go through customers that or not customers, but stores that I have dealt with before because I know that they're reputable. If I order online though in Canada, it's usually like a record store. It's not Sunrise. It's not Walmart or any of those things. It's more localized shop, I guess you could say. I mean, maybe they've got a big name for themselves on the internet. I'm not sure, but they do sell online. But usually they're a local store in a city somewhere in Canada. Usually in Ontario, even though the shipping is the same no matter what.
Okay, cool. So when I send you stuff, it gets to you quicker than anywhere else then.
Yeah, see that's one of the cons. I mean, if I'm going to talk about online shopping where I'm at, right? Like there's those people that are ordered through Amazon and it's there within 24 to 48 hours. The fastest I've ever ordered anything and that got here was probably 4 days. That's the fastest I've ever had anything come here.
Okay, cool. So order it on a Monday so it's ready for the weekend to spin.
Yeah.
Cool. Our special guest, Mark. So explain, Mark, like, is it mostly online shopping? Is any record shops nearby at all for you?
So, not really. There's a place in the eastern part of the state called Weird Harold's that I can get to in a few hours. There's a place in Iowa City. Based in Iowa, a remote little place in Iowa, and not as remote as Daryl.
No.
I don't have to battle polar bears or anything like that. But there's a place in Iowa City, the Record Collector. It's a kind of a big place. And there's a place or two in the capital, Des Moines, Iowa, but I don't make it to these places very often. I would say 85-90% of the stuff I buy is online. The other stuff is from like thrift shops, antique shops, that kind of thing. But the local place that I used to go to was an antique shop, and the guy was very serious about his records, and he had a really nice thing. I just found out recently they closed up, so I might have to start making tricks.
Okay, cool. And do you find you get any good discount online then, Mark, where you are? Like, I know it takes Daryl 4 days. Is it quite quick where you live to get?
It's super quick. Sometimes it's the next day. There's if you go through Amazon, there's an Amazon facility not far from me, and it's like sometimes I'm just shocked the next day it's there. So that's kind of cool. But the bad thing is, like what Daryl said, even if you get a good deal, it's kind of negated by the shipping costs. So, it would be just so nice to walk into these local shops and just pick out the record and pay what it says on there and not have to worry about shipping.
Okay. Okay, cool. It's good to get two perspectives of kind of like how you get your vinyl, your records, or anything really online compared to if you went to a record shop. And I know it's quite a distance for you guys to go there. Let's talk to a record shop owner now. Joe, do you find competing, well, not competing wise, but kind of against Amazon and Discogs and that kind of thing, is there more people come in the shop because they want the face-to-face kind of chat with you about the record and when you can get it, that kind of thing? Or do they come in and say, have you got it? If you haven't, they walk out kind of thing. How have you found the whole kind of shopping online versus record shop there?
Sure. Well, that's the thing. Obviously, I'm a proponent of shop local, shop at the record shop, but that's not always going to be the case. You're not ever going to, there's a lot of people, two of them are on camera with us, that just don't have that as an option or an opportunity. It's tough because and even like I'm in a city of 250,000. So we're not small, we're not big, we're not small. There is us as a local independent online, or not online retailer, and then there was one other place that's closing at the end of the month. So it's a tough business to be in. You do have to do, I think you have to do a lot of online, but that can be from a local shop. So there's the online from local shops, and then there's the online from the big box retailers, from the Amazons of the world. And it's tough because Amazon will get it there the next day. For us, we don't have a lot of stock of new in the shop, but I will take a special order from everyone, except it's going to be a couple weeks till it comes in. And sometimes, and I'm the worst for it or the best for it, or whatever way you want to put it as well, is if I get something in my head, I'd like to have it tomorrow. With Amazon, for the most part, depending where you are, you can have it tomorrow. I can still get it for you, and we're a little different, I think, as far as our pricing goes, because for those that don't know, we're a shop within a shop. So the lights are already on, the heat's already on, the rent kind of gets paid by the main part of the shop. So we have really good prices. At least I like to think so. And I always compare us against Amazon. I compare us against Sunrise, which is a Canadian chain. I compare us against the other in-town retailer as well. So we still make our profit, but we're able to sell it at a little bit less. So, you know, it's an example of, you can get it from us, you can save a little bit, but I'm not going to have it the next day. I'm going to probably have it in a couple of weeks, because for me to ship one, if you ordered it from me today, I could certainly get it shipped and try and get it here myself, but then I'd pay $40 worth of shipping and there'd be nobody for anything. So, you know, I mean, you'd still have to pay the shipping, but you'd get it from a local guy. I think I've kind of talked myself into a corner a little bit here, but I mean, I want people to come into the shop. But again, I realize, and the two fine gentlemen underneath us don't have that as an option, but the option, I guess, and I know Daryl does, because Daryl's ordered some stuff from me before, and Mark, sounds like you get a chance to get to some local shops that do sell. So I just don't want anybody to buy from Amazon, but I understand you have to buy from Amazon. We all have to buy from Amazon. It's just it's a necessary evil right now, because they'll get it to you the next day or within a couple of days. So, and we all want that thing we want quickly, right? So
yeah,
I'm driving up after the show today, Joe, so I'll be there in about 16, 17 hours.
I'm not there tomorrow. Wait a minute.
Oh, great.
I'll do the math, but I'll go
wait
in
outside.
if you come. I'll go in tomorrow. So yeah. I mean, again, I completely understand. I guess it's a matter of when you can try and support your local shop, because there's not a lot of profit, guys. There really isn't. And I've said this openly before on live streams. We pay on an average 30 to 40 Canadian dollars, and I'm not going to do the math, to sell a record for 40 to 50 Canadian dollars. There is about $10, maybe $15 to be made on most records, which is good if you're selling hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, but you're not selling hundreds and hundreds and hundreds either. That's the thing. So, you know, I don't know what the perception is out there. If you go to the local guy, if you think that they're having some big, huge markup, because they're not really, at least we're not. And I don't think even, you know, other guys maybe are going to charge an extra 5 to 10 to 7, whatever. So there is not a lot of markup in the album business, at least from a distributor. There might be the guys like, what's his name in Phoenix? Mike from the In Group, right? Mike probably buys enough stuff. He goes direct to the record companies, so he cuts out that middleman. I still have a middleman, because there's the record company, then there's the guy I buy from, because I can't buy enough to buy from the record company. Then there's me. So everybody needs their little piece of pie, right?
Okay, cool. Let me before I express kind of what I do. Chat's going a bit nuts.
Yeah.
Let's so we got Jack here from the Vinyl Voyage. Evening, everyone. I'm currently spinning Yoko's Season of Glass in honor of the stream special guest. That would be you, Mark.
Yeah.
He's finished.
Yeah.
Steve is saying, I love the convenience of online, and I can't find pretty much. I can find pretty much everything I want. If I go to a store, I'm the mercy of the particular. Yes, I bet 90% of what I have was bought online. That stat is kind of interesting on me, to be honest. Yeah, that's kind of different. So, so we've got Tokyo Record Style here. Hello, sir. Good early morning from Tokyo, folks.
Yeah, trying to do the math. I think Brian is 15 hours ahead of me. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not doing that math anymore. I've been trying to do that math, and I give up, because there's parts of the world that haven't even changed their time yet. We've changed our time in Canada for daylight savings time, but you crazy Welshmen haven't even changed it at the end of the month. So it's going to change the time again.
Yeah, we're still drunk. Don't worry about it.
You know, Chris, I want to go back to that comment that that Steve made. I mean, my collection's probably not 95%, but I would argue that probably at least 60 to 65% of mine is online, or the day that I got to those couple of days that I got to go into that record station, right? Just things that were local, but for the most part, like up where I am, you almost have no choice but to buy online. And as much as I hate doing it, the only time that I could get in and out of here is right now, when I'd have to drive on that winter road, and it's unreliable too.
So this has answered my question. There you go.
Yeah.
5:17 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're on crazier time than I am.
You know, and I get it. Again, kind of the long way of what I said too was that we can get almost anything. It's just a time frame. So we are like an online shop, kind of, because, you know, so if you know what you want, again, you can't walk into my shop and necessarily pick it up, but you can phone me and go, hey, Joe, do you have this? Yes, I do. But it's going to be maybe a week, if that's the week I'm ordering, or maybe 2 weeks. So it's not the instantaneous, but we do have the availability of all of that online, and or the stock at my supplier. It's just not an instant thing. So you know, yes, you can go into most shops and there's only the selection of what's there. You can't pick what you want, but you can always pick what you want. It's just how long you're willing to wait for what you want, I guess.
Okay.
For the most part.
Do you want me to kind of speak, because I did pull out some of the ones that I bought off of you from when you and I were talking, just to kind of, I guess, show what that would look like. So,
hang on, Daryl.
So basically, I had asked Joe at one point if he was able to get me, like, I'm a Madonna fan up until the mid 90s, and I asked if he would be able to get this Erotica album. And so Joe said, yeah, no problem, but it's going to take a week or two to get it, right? And so I waited, and I mean, Joe got me a good deal on the shipping and all that. But in the meantime, what Joe did is, you know, he sent me some videos of just what he had in the shops. You know, I had said, do you have any Canadian rock bands, music and stuff like that? And so he sent me a video, and basically, you know, a band like Honeymoon Suite from Niagara Falls. This is a really good album too, by the way, if you've never listened to this one. What's it called? The Big Prize. And it's the one that has Feel It Again, and it's got What Does It Take, which would be the two singles. But then, you know, not just with Joe, I've had this with a few other sellers, is that, you know, if you buy and you wait, you know, they will throw in some bonus albums. And I know, Chris, you're going to like this, because this is a greatest hits album. This is the Three Dog Night Golden Biscuits album, which is the greatest hit. So, you know, if you're willing to wait and you're willing to support, there's always some good stuff that comes out of it. And I'll show some more later of how that applies. But yeah, no, you can support local shops. You just have to be patient, because like Joe said, they can pretty much get anything for you. It's just you might have to wait a little bit.
So Trevor's kind of in the same situation here. So he's saying, for me, ordering online, I save on shipping through Amazon, which I think Mark has discussed, and obviously you've discussed as well. I'll just explain kind of my situation and how I go about kind of buying records. Then, shall we say? Mostly in the past, it's been online. If I'm being perfectly honest, but the job that I do now, I travel 6, maybe 7 days a week. Sometimes, kind of, I have Sundays off. That's why we're doing the live stream. But usually I'm traveling a lot, mid Wales, North Wales, South Wales, West, East. I'm kind of all over the shop. But I've been quite lucky to go to record stores recently and kind of show what they've got. I sent a message to Daryl this week. Do you want to tell everybody in Canadian dollars, Daryl, how much I've spent in the last 11 days?
Well, it's my entire travel bonus. 650 Canadian, I think you said. Somewhere along those lines.
I may have gone overboard slightly. But yeah. But it's albums I wanted to get that, I'm literally going to the record store and I am buying directly off the record store. It might have changed my mind if I had to order online, but like I said, because I'm traveling a lot, that kind of stuff. You've all seen the videos. I've been everywhere.
Yeah,
I've been traveling all over the place, which has been amazing because you get to talk to record shop owners and people coming in. I have had a few, like last time when I was in Pontypridd, I was talking to the record shop owner, and some guy came in and said, "How much for the new Taylor Swift album?" And he's like, "Well, which one do you want?" And I'll have to order it in and get it in for you. And he was like, "Well, how much is it?" And he said, "Well, I have to work out the shipping price first to get it from the retailer." And he just went, "Oh, forget it, but I'll get it from Amazon." And I was like, oh. And the record shop owner just looked at me and went, "That's what I'm up against."
yeah, yeah. I mean, with us, honestly, I work in the shipping. I don't charge anybody shipping when they order something specific. Again, and that's the time frame. I'll get it for you tomorrow or the next day if you want to pay the 20, 30, 40 shipping or whatever that I would pay. I'm not going to mark it up. I'm just going to bring it in. But the fact that I do stretch it out a week or 2 weeks till I build up enough, and then I work that into. I don't know if we're an anomaly. Maybe we are an anomaly. I don't know for sure. Again, we have the luxury of being a shop within a shop, so there is some factors that you have to take into consideration. But it's just a matter of it's on the shop, and you just have to find that local shop that's going to give you the best deal. And yeah, you're probably going to pay a couple bucks more than you are at Amazon, and maybe you're probably going to wait a little bit too. But try and find a local shop that can get that special order stuff that you're ordering online. Again, there are lots of other ways that, like, and we'll talk about it. There's band specific. You can only order from them. Obviously I can't get that if it's something specific on the band's website. It's a variant of some sort. And if people want that, they want that, and I get that. But I guess I'm just trying to say is if you can find a local to support when you can, all of the factors taken into consideration, as long as they're willing to work with you, then try and do that if you can.
So Jack is saying here, this is actually a good point, actually, and I've found this a lot since going to record shops. Record shops are good for surprise buys.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I'll take that. Like that Godzilla one, that Mothra one that you bought for me when you were in that shop the other day. Just kidding.
I was like, did I?
Oh, yeah. Oh, did I forget to tell you that you're going back to get those ones for me? Anyway, yeah. But yeah, I get that for sure. It's that album that you're sitting there and you're flipping through and it grabs your attention. There is certainly that for sure. So, but
okay, cool. What we'll do, should we show some records, guys?
Sure.
Yeah?
Sure.
Who would like to go first? Let's have a look, shall we?
I kind of already showed some, so why don't we go with either Mark or
go Mark. Mark, he's just thrown you in the deep end, mate.
That's absolutely fine. I have some good records to show. I wanted to, since Jack from the Final Voyage is out, I wanted to show This is what is known as FOMO in the vinyl community. Jack did a video and he mentioned this record in his video. And before the video was done, I had gotten on eBay and found a copy and ordered it. This is Johnny Cash, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And the reason I did it was because this was a record that was kind of big in my childhood. Talk about a nostalgia buy. Just seeing the cover, I'm like, I forgot about that album. I had a music teacher, and she'd come in and we would learn songs, but she would play contemporary songs of artists doing the thing. And this was one she would bring in, and she would play The Legend of John Henry. And I ended up picking this up on eBay. Working man songs, kind of hard luck story songs, all folk. It's Johnny Cash, so you know what's in there. For like a record shop buy. So this isn't from a record shop, but from a that antique place I was talking about. That I was able to find this there. This is Rush. Obviously, it was exciting to find. It wasn't something I was looking for, but I was excited to see it, and I was able to pick it up. So one thing I'll say about record store finds are you can find the OG copies of things, and I love that. To find that online, it's a little trickier. So a lot of my collection is reissues and stuff, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I like a good sounding record, but it's kind of fun to find those OGs.
Yeah, I think Jack agrees with you there, Mark. Great stuff, Mark. Hard-working songs for the hard-living man.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shouldn't own that album, but sure.
Yeah.
I can empathize.
Yeah, I've got a Johnny Cash album, and I've only got one, and it's Folsom Prison.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, do you know what? I bought so many albums in the last 10 days, 12 and 14 days. I'm on catch-up. So I will report back on this. I think there's going to be a pickup for March, shall we say, that's going to be massive. So the video may be a bit long. So I might have to skim through some of them.
Hour and a half long.
So, yeah. Okay, cool. Right. Okay. Let's go to Joe next, who's got a record shop, and he will kind of show what have you got, Joe?
Yeah. Well, I talked a bit about, there's lots of different ways. And as we go through and as we continue to talk, we'll talk about some of the other ways. And we've already talked about online and eBay, and we've already talked about, and I mentioned it quick. And that this first one is how I got this is I ordered this directly from the band because there are some original copies of this that are out there, that this being the Four Horsemen. Nobody said it was easy, but this is a reissue that they did. This is a few years ago now. I don't know, like 6 or 7 years ago, because nobody else was reissuing it. So they printed about 300, I believe. So that's the other option, is obviously just to get direct from the band's website. And that's usually where you'll find all the different odd variants sometimes. Like Taylor Swift is a perfect example of, at the shop, we had one variant. We had that gold or that orange splattery, sparkly, whatever the heck she called it, version. But on her website, she had about 10 or 12 different variants as well. And that was direct through her website. So again, there's bands that will only put specific things out on their website. Now, this was a bit of an anomaly. There was only so many of them sold. And actually, if you got in time, you actually got your name in the credits too. So very good album, really good album. If you don't know the Four Horsemen, if you're familiar with Super Suckers, Nashville Pussy, I know you laugh every time I say that, Chris, but yeah, there we go. They're a good band, man. They're a great band, but just good sleazy rock and roll. The Cult, actually, Haggis from this band was in the Cult for a while, did some touring with them. He's been in a couple of different bands. Zodiac Mind Warp, I think he was also in as well. But yeah, there's obviously getting directly from the bands, and that's a great way to do it as well, because then you're not giving Amazon your money. You're giving the band directly the money when you can. I know buying from me means you're not giving the band directly the money either. So that's a bit of a double-edged sword. But there are lots of cases where it's specific albums where you're only going to be able to get that from the band website. So that's another great way of doing it as well. So
cool. I'm going to talk about something completely like a bit different here. I'm a big fan of Rhino releases. Okay. And I know our friend Cam, the Vinyl Narrative, he sends me messages on a weekly basis. Oh, yeah. Look what's getting released, Chris. It's like dangling the carrot in front of the donkey. It's kind of, okay, let's have a quick stream on this, and then I end up buying it. So one of them was Alex from Beer and Vinyl's fault. And it's not prog rock before anybody asks, right? It's the band Wilco. And this is AM. I believe this is their first album. Just in case you're wondering, Mark, it's the law in the vinyl community. You have to show the gatefold.
Yeah. If it's a gatefold, you have to show it. That's right. It's a rule.
So there you go. That's their first one. This was on Rhino on limited edition. Out of 5,000, I got 4,812. If anybody gives a shit.
I do. Sure. Yeah.
I just wanted the album. And on shipping wise, with shipping, this cost me about £45. So you're looking about $55, $60, maybe Canadian, American. So it's not much to ship. It says it's coming from America, but it was delivered within a week, which makes me think they're going to plant in Germany or somewhere.
Yeah, that's not. Well, I guess it's coming from America, not unless you paid, over £100 or whatever, or pounds, or whatever the frick you guys call your money over there. So,
quid, pounds.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's 18 different versions, but then there's also dollar bill, and anyway. But I don't know if you noticed, but our friend Alex is actually with us. I don't know if you saw him pop in when you started talking about it, but look, it's Beer and Vinyl right there. So
2 seconds.
Let me tell you something, Joe. You did a dirty trick on me. You sent Alex some VCLT, and you sent him those Canadian Beatles records, the Twist and Shout and Beatlemania.
Yep.
I had the Beatlemania one, but I didn't have Twist and Shout. It's similar to the Johnny Cash purchase. I ended up buying that on eBay too.
You did,
so
did you?
YouTube is a very, very dangerous place for me. Very dangerous.
Oh, exactly. I got to find them Long Tall Sally still, but other than that, but
those are a little more expensive for some reason. They're harder to find, I think.
Yeah, those other two are somewhat readily available up here.
Right.
Anyway. Yeah, Long Tall Sally, not so much on that one. So, yeah.
So Alex is saying, hey guys, good to see Mark back on a stream. He's got a great face for this. Yes, he has.
Oh, yeah. I got a great face.
Exactly.
I was watching, Mark. I was on your channel the other day, and I was just flicking through your channel, just looking at old videos, because I'm that kind of person that goes on somebody's channel and watches the older stuff. And there was one on there that I was laughing my tree off, mate. It was when you were describing how good looking you are.
Oh yeah, the let's put an end to the bickering in the vinyl community. Yeah, I thought that was a hilarious video. I never really caught on, but yeah, I pretended the bickering in the vinyl community had something to do with some people thought I was handsome like Matthew McConaughey, and other people thought I was handsome like I can't remember the other guy I used, but Marlon Brando. And I said, let's stop the bickering. Let's just agree I'm an incredibly good-looking guy. Anyway, I thought it was hilarious, but like a lot of things I think are funny are really not funny at all. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Chris.
I love watching your channel. You know that. It just makes my day. Some of the stuff you put on there, and
don't watch the Christmas video. I thought the Christmas video was gangbusters, and I lost so many subscribers over that thing. but I still think it's funny.
Your
So
Christmas video was people that didn't like your Christmas video have no sense of humor whatsoever. That was the most hilarious video that's come out
I thought it was too,
in the
but
last
man,
year or two.
the subscriber count dropped almost immediately. You know, I don't think it could have been a coincidence.
And then the next video goes straight to watching showing Beatles, and it goes back up again.
Yeah. Richard
Cool.
makes a great point. I sent you some stuff from Canada to Wales, and it was all free. It was just, and there was still a tax on it. There was still the value-added tax. So regardless of whether you're sending stuff and you're paying for it, it didn't cost a penny. It cost more than a couple of pennies to get it there, and then you got it, and you still had to pay the value-added tax on it. They're making it tough on us to actually even just give our friends some music. I sent that box to Alex too, and there was a whole bunch of rigmarole and bullshit that had to go on with that too. So let alone buying stuff and tariffs and everything else, you can't even give stuff to your buddies that aren't. I mean, I've sent to Daryl, and all there's been has been the shipping costs. There hasn't been extra crap going on, but
yeah. I will say, Joe, when you sent me that package, which I was very excited about, because there was a certain album there that from one of your favorite bands, which we'll discuss in a moment.
Sure.
My mum, because I was at work, I was traveling, and my mum always like go in the house, make sure any mail, anything I need to know about, that kind of stuff. She'd go to, you've had a letter through off the post office saying, can you go and pick up this post? We were unavailable to deliver this to you. And I was like, well, that's weird. Usually they just put it in the box and just put a letter through the door saying, it's in the outside secure box, just to let you know it's in the garage, whatever. She went into Tembe, into the post office, and he went, yeah, that'll be £25.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, Joe or Daryl, can I ask you a question about shipping and stuff about Canada?
Yep.
I notice when I ship things to Canada, I have some friends up there. It is super expensive to ship things up there. Is it just as expensive to ship things from there to like the States?
So here's something funny, at least from my perspective. I can't speak on behalf of Joe, but in all of the time, so I'm a board game collector too, and there's an annual thing that I've done where I've donated games for charity and stuff, and I've actually shipped board games from Canada to the United States, and the shipping costs are the same for me to send it from here to California as it is for me to send it from here to anywhere in Canada. It's a weird phenomenon for me where I don't understand why the shipping is the same to send it within Canada. It's just mind blowing to me. But and the other thing about shipping in Canada too is, and this might be a question for Joe, a lot of places don't ship to PO boxes. Now I have a PO box, but I have a way to get around the PO box thing. It's kind of a little fib lie, and I do it anytime a company has to send it that won't send it via a PO box. But I don't understand why either they won't ship it to a PO box, or if they do, the shipping is like twice the amount of money to get it here.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've sent you a couple of things now, and it's a minimum. I'm not sure, again, without doing the math, $30 Canadian is about the minimum. And then sometimes it's been 40 when we get ours shipped from our supplier to us, which are a little bit bigger of a package usually. It's $40, and they probably get a bit of a discount because they're shipping all over the place. I'm just shipping from A to B. They're shipping from A to B, C, D, E, F, G. So, I mean, I don't know what's a package of 5 albums, let's say, Mark, for you to send to Alex. What would that be? Is that $20 USPS? Is that, do you use US Postal Service or?
Yeah, and media mail, it's fairly cheap to do that.
Yeah.
So it's not that expensive at all. But if I were to send that same package to somebody in Canada, it's like a zillion dollars more. A zillion dollars. I'm not
So
exaggerating.
it's almost the reverse situation, because like I said, for me to ship something from here to California was almost the same in shipping as it is for me to send it from here to another place in Canada. And here's the strangest thing. In Ontario, at least, so I'm a high school teacher. When they send report cards, okay, so let's say that they send it to the town that's across the river from me, they cannot mail it direct from here to the town across the river. It
Yeah.
goes from my town to Toronto to a sorting company all the way back up here to the town across the river. I don't know if that's done in the States, but man, it's super annoying here in Canada the way they ship it. Everything is for like pennies up here.
Maybe they just
It
overcost.
happens sometimes. It happens. I know in Iowa that it's always humorous for me to track the package and see all the places it goes before it shows up.
I sent some stuff to Daryl and Joe. Surprise, surprise, Stereophonics.
Okay,
but,
can I just show this, please?
Hang on, let me.
So
let me.
I was
just-
going to ask Chris about this album right here.
Let me maximize.
This was a
it.
Stereophonics VCLT from
Hang on,
Chris.
two secs. Hang on,
And I-
I'm freezing. Hang on, 2 secs. There you go. Nope, hang on.
Just leave it. What are you
Go.
doing?
There
Okay,
we go.
there you go.
Yeah, so Chris was kind enough to send me this this British pressing best of Stereophonics. It's a really good greatest hits album. As you know, we show the gatefold. But I was gonna ask you, like just to send this one album to me in the remote north here. I never had to pay any shipping on it once it arrived here, but was there any red tape to get this to me?
Let's just say I like you, Daryl.
Yeah.
Now, I screwed up on you and Joe because I went to the post office and the woman there went, the cheapest one is like 15 to 17 pounds. I was like, oh, great. Paid the money and she went, oh, yeah, it's going to take 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me that before I paid that money? And then I tried to send you the tracking and I think Joe sent me a message going, not being funny, mate, but I don't speak Welsh. I can't understand what the tracking is going on here.
I can show you. I can show you. Anyway, in Canada, it's ridiculous. To the States, again, I don't know if it was 2 or 3 albums, what it would have cost to send that stuff down to Ohio for Alex, but it was a bit Canadian. And then to send to Chris, I should have just bought a friggin' plane ticket, flown to Wales, walked to his house, and met a couple sheep along the way, and had got myself a wool jacket, and I still think I would have came off a little less than it was. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right now. It's a bit, unless you wanted to go on a frickin' steamboat and take 6 months to get there,
Yeah.
and then
Well,
and the record's so out of date it's warped and broken by the time it gets there. As well.
That was if you remember, Joe, that was the issue because it took 5 to 6 weeks, and I think it took even longer to get to Daryl.
Yeah.
And it arrived, the Stereophonics that Daryl's got, the same one that you've got, and it was damaged in the end, and I was like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's the thing. So you try and pack it a little heavier, but then the cost goes up. So you want to make sure that it's taken care of. It's just, like I said, it's a bit of a lose-lose situation, but it's what we have to do. If we all lived in the same damn town, we could just shit all over the place.
Like, for instance, I'm just saying this, the Rhino packaging is amazing. So what I did last time with Joe, I kept a Rhino purchase I made. I kept the cardboard because it's really well packed. And I used the bubble. I used everything inside to send it to Joe. So I'm recycling, vinyl community. Do not have a go at me for using more cardboard.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. I've got something from Japan. Mark, I know you got the same kind of a letter and the same sticker from our good friend Brian. And I don't know exactly how long this took, but that's just a single little envelope. I don't know. There's probably some dates on here somewhere, but I'm intending to send something back to Brian, and it's not as crazy, but that's just for a letter. I think if I was to try and send him a couple of albums to Japan, I might need to apply for a small loan. I think maybe not, but I think it's all dependent on the other country. Like that's why maybe for Daryl and I, it's a little cheaper to send to the States because once the USPS picks it up, then their pricing kicks in a little bit. I think. I don't know. I have no idea, but
they may
Yeah,
charge you.
I'd be interested to know about that too because Peter from Music is a Journey, he sent me some VCLT about a year and a half, 2 years ago. 3 vinyl records, and then he sent me some snacks and stuff and a couple of gifts for my kids. It took about 4 to 6 weeks to go from where he's at in Japan to my place. And I'm just curious, like a place like Japan, because I know Peter's mentioned it, like it's not cheap to send stuff from Asia for sure.
Joe, I'd be careful when sending abroad. They may charge you for licking the stamp, so you may want to get a sticky one instead, mate.
I'll see what I can do. You just said licking and abroad in the same sentence.
Yeah, we're not going to Thailand. Okay,
Just
so
saying.
yes, right. We've got Morton. Hello, mate. How's it going?
Oh,
hey guys.
Morton. This is a great
There's a guy that
channel.
I could ask. What does it cost, Morton? Because you've sent me a contest win. Like how much does it cost in euros to send, say, from Norway to Canada? Like it can't be all that cheap.
If Daryl, if you look at the bottom, what he sent out to you, it says please charge the receiver.
Yeah, exactly. Cash due on delivery, please.
Yes,
but yeah.
Cash only.
Well, that's the thing right now. So in this chat, there's US dollars, there's Canadian dollars, there's you guys use pounds, right?
Yeah.
Morton's going to use euros. If Brian's still around, that's yen. So I mean, I think in yen it might be $18 billion, or as Mark said, 1 trillion. Was it a trillion? We can't remember a trillion.
Yeah.
I think, right? Yeah. So
it feels like it's that program Around the World in 80 Days.
Yeah, exactly. It's good though. That's good. That's a good thing. So,
but if you look at the chat tonight, like obviously Mark, you haven't been on live stream for a long time, but if you look at the chat, we've had people from Norway on here, we've had people from Scotland on here, me. you got you got Canada on here, you got Denver on here. You got where's Trevor live? I can't think.
Seattle. So yeah, East Coast,
Seattle.
West Coast. Yeah. Alex was here, so from Ohio. Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's good, and we all send each other shit, and it all costs too much damn money, and we could be spending on records instead. These friggin' shipping companies. I don't know, UPS or someone's got to. Maybe we got to cut a deal with one of them where we'll all on all of our live streams we'll all promote UPS, and then we'll all get a discount on our shipping around the world.
Well, here's the shitty thing about living where I am too, is I'm stuck with one postal company. I have no choice but to go through Canada Post. I can't do UPS or any of those other FedEx. I can't do them because I don't live anywhere near one.
Yeah.
So before we go to the next one, there's a person on the panel that has got a quiz show.
Yeah.
So,
thank you for mentioning that. Yes.
Yes, you're all about it. Yeah.
So, Joe, over to you, mate. Do you want to kind of tell people what this is all about?
Well, I've had 2 of the 3 guests on as contestants, so we're just waiting for Mark to come on as a contestant. Now that he's figured out how to get on StreamYard, he's coming on, right? I think at some point.
I would like to, Joe. I'm going to watch it a little more. There's always a section of the game show where I feel really smart, but then there's like 3/4 of it where I feel really stupid.
Wait till you see the one I was in. I'm just saying that. I was shit.
That one's coming up, right? That one's coming up on Monday, right?
That's on Monday. Yeah, exactly. You know what? Yeah, that's on Monday. So let's see. Hold on a second here. Let me try something.
Hey, Trevor, your choice, please, still, sir. Do blurred UK albums for 400. Okay. Blurred UK albums, again, as soon as you guys can see it, you're able to ring in. I don't have to activate the buzzers. Here we go. Album title, please. Chris.
That's the only one I got right.
Well, no, now you spoil alerted it, you bastard. People are supposed to tune in to find out if you got it right. Did you get that right? I don't know if you got that right or not. I can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think you did. Yeah, I
it
think you
was
did.
right.
So, yeah, Monday night, 7 o'clock my time. I'm not doing the math. Just find it on my channel. It'll be there. And then I'm going to start doing it every week now. So I've loaded up a couple. Daryl's on an episode that's going to come up. Chris did a couple of episodes with Trevor, and yeah, and then I've got some local friends that have been on in that. So I talked to Peter. Speaking of Peter from Japan, he's willing to come on and be a contestant. I've talked to a few other people, so I just have to get enough people together. I've got 20 episodes written. It's just a matter of finding people to come on, getting them together, recording it, and then getting it ready to go out. So it's a lot of fun. It's fun for me to go through it, and again, to be honest, Mark, the only reason I know the answers because I looked up the answers.
Right.
It's all that it comes
I have
down
to say, Joe, that it is so super cool. I watched that an episode. I can't remember which one it was. Oh, it was one with Curtis where Curtis made that shocking comeback.
Oh,
But I started watching it. I'm like, I wonder if I'd like this. And I watched that whole thing, and it was I really liked it. And it's a really well produced thing, and you did a really good job. And you're writing I saw you were advertising for, do you want to be a question writer and stuff? That's pretty amazing. You must be putting a lot of time into this.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's great. And when I say writing, I come up with the categories and then try and figure out the answers. But Daryl's gonna write me an episode 2 in the near future here. So yeah, if anybody is out there and watching, you want to be on, let me know. Get a hold of me. Love to have some different people on. Love everybody that's been on, but love to have some different people on. And yeah, if you've got some categories and some questions, send them my way. That's awesome. So I'm looking forward. It's going to be the Daryl episode, which he can't play. He's just angling to come on and know all the answers, I think, is the deal. I think that's what he's shooting for. Maybe.
Yeah, I think
I'm hoping for an accident where you throw up the wrong questions.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's gonna be a glass tiger question somewhere. I can just feel it happening already.
There actually is a category. It just hasn't been.
Well, I'm kind of glad that you brought that up, Chris. Can you show me on the screen here? I'm glad that you brought that up, Glass Tiger.
Hang on.
I couldn't do this without showing a Stereophonics followed by Glass Tiger.
That's right.
So earlier on, Joe was talking about ordering right direct from the band or the website itself, and I think that this fits the bill. The most recent Glass Tiger, and this one I bought, it's autographed by the members of the band, but this is their 33. I think it's an EP, and they did a Christmas album at the same time. Funny enough, when I ordered this online at the time, I think shipping was relatively much better because I don't think I would have paid $20 or $30 in shipping for this. But it's a really good album. And it's on a red nice wax, but yeah, and I like supporting the bands through their websites. There is going to be one coming in the mail, and Joe and I have talked about it. I think I mentioned this with Chris as well, but to promote a local band from Saskatoon, Black Tea, I ordered theirs, and what it does is you go on their website and it transfers over to Bandcamp.
Yeah,
and I think the money goes directly to them. So I mean, I'm willing to pay a little bit more to support the band. And I think what's interesting is as well, I've got a few more that I'm going to show here. Is I also like going to flea markets. I don't. Every summer I go to there's a place called Grand Bend here in Ontario, and on Sundays all summer they have a flea market. But there's local vendors, so record shops that are within, say, an hour or two of that location. And I was talking to one of the guys that was there, and I bought this Steve Winwood album. This is the what is this, Arc of a Diver, which is a really good album. I've been looking for it. I'm not a completist, but this kind of completes my Steve Winwood collection. And when I was talking to him, he was like, "Oh, you've bought like this, that, and the other album." He's like, "Well, have you ever heard of this band? I'll throw this in as part of the deal." And and I've talked about these guys on other streams, but it's a band out of Africa called Jaluka. And the only way that I can explain these guys, it's kind of like the whole Paul Simon diamonds on the soles of her shoes. That's what it reminds me of, is that style of music, traditional drums, and just more. It's an 80s band. But because I bought this and a few others, he threw this one in. And what he did was he gave me a really good deal. I think I only paid $5 for this one here. And I know, Mark, you're going to like this. This is Ministry. This is the Halloween remix and Nature of Outtakes. It's just a 12-inch. And so he threw it in. I wouldn't say that this is a rare album, but it's a 12-inch, and you don't see it very often. And he was just like, well, you bought all these from me. You came all the way down to this location on vacation, so I'll throw this kind of in. And I think it's interesting buying online versus, and for me, I mean, I'm on vacation when I do this, but if I was down locally, I would save so much on just the shipping alone. And I think part of buying from local shops, because that's what that guy was, he was within an hour of this location, is he was throwing additional stuff in to kind of promote his store. It wasn't always about the mighty dollar. I guess I'm saying he was trying to promote his store to me, hoping that maybe other people around were listening to him at this flea market. And I think that when bands do it online from their own store, they're promoting themselves. And I think when local shops go to flea markets, and I don't know if that's the same as a car boot sale, or maybe that's what they're called. I'm not 100% sure what a car boot sale is.
Okay, so a car boot sale is literally a car. They've got stuff in the boot. They pull the boot up, and there's your sale. It's a car boot sale.
That's how I buy all my porn.
Hey!
Excellent.
On that note, there's a little promo I want to show. So sit back and enjoy this one. There you go, Joe.
Yeah. So he said porn. You thought of me. I'm not sure if that's
absolutely.
I'm just. I don't know. I don't know if that's good or not. But
you keep describing the Super Suckers as sleazy rock and roll. That's what's happened here, Joe.
I guess. Yeah. Exactly. Do you listen? Are you familiar with the Super Suckers, Mark?
No, but I know how you describe them, and it does make me want to check them out.
Yeah, it's good. It's not in-depth songwriting, and it's pretty straightforward rock and roll. So if that's what you're shooting for, it's good stuff. Give them a listen. So
I will.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go to the chat real quick because it is going nuts. Hang on. Let's have a look. Let me go back. So Richard is saying Bandcamp is a great site to order directly from. I've done that with Adam Baldwin, actually, in fact, Canadian singer-songwriter that I love. So yes, Richard, I'm with you 100% on that one. Let's have a look. What are the comments we got here? So Trevor's saying, nice to hear Black T's got a Bandcamp account. That's going to help them immediately. Joe, do you want to explain who this band is? Like, obviously, me, Richard, and Daryl know. I think that Mark would enjoy them as well, actually.
Yeah, I wasn't going to bring them up, but what the heck? While we're here, Black Tea out of Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. Great band, along the lines of the Black Crowes. I'm not a big fan of comparing one band to the other, but if you're going to explain what something sounds like, you've got to come up with a little bit of something. So Black Crowes, there's another Saskatchewan band called the Sheepdogs, which they also sound like. Rival Sons, There's a little bit of Zeppelin flavor in there as well, but just a 3-piece, really, really good album. They didn't have it on Bandcamp to begin with. Daryl has got his through that. Trevor actually got a hold of the guys directly, and Dawson, the drummer, who is up there, sent it out direct to him. Chris got his as part of where I could have flown over and brought it to him. Brought it to him. So yeah, really good. Give them a listen if you're out there. They are on the streaming services. The album is on their Bandcamp site. They've only got so many of It's the Gatefold. They've only got so many of these because Dawson said that because of costs, they want to try and get that down a little bit. They're probably just going to do a single sleeve for the next one. But yeah, good stuff. Really good stuff. Again, it's got to be something. It's got to be something that you're interested in or that is your flavor of music. But I think they're worth the listen and then go from there. So yeah, it's good stuff.
Bandcamp is a really good resource for, I've gotten so many cool records from Bandcamp that, you just don't hear about. It's an excellent resource for, just unknown artists. And it's so fun to promote them. The last one I got was Astral Yacht. Have you heard that Astral Yacht psych album? Vinyl Richie was talking about him, and it's so cool. Just a couple guys in Nebraska, and it's just like there's these interesting people all over the world, and you can really get some really good stuff from these people that probably never going to be Taylor Swift big, but just great stuff out there.
It goes back to, again, the shipping. In some cases, the bands are selling their albums nice and reasonably priced, and the shipping is more than buying the damn album, at least in Canada. Now, again, I don't know the United States, but there are times, whether it's Bandcamp or, again, from the artist directly, the album is $20, $25. That's not the case normally. And shipping's $30. So, you have to just bite the bullet and say, screw it, I'm going to support this band, or try and find a different place to buy it. But especially with the ones that are specifically on the band site and or the Bandcamp stuff, again, it just comes down to shipping, and it's not going to get any better. In fact, shipping is probably going to get a little more out of control based on what the hell is going on in the world, right? Because gas prices are doing what they're doing, and that always gives a 5 to 10, at least 20% sometimes bump in shipping costs. So instead of 30, now we're going to be paying $40. So we're going to be paying as much in shipping as maybe to get a couple of albums. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
Hold that thought, because you know what question I'm going to ask you next, but I need to go here 2 secs. Hang on.
Yeah.
Richard saying, have you seen a difference then, Rich, in our production? I'll just say this. It's nothing to do with me. That's all down to Mr. Director over there.
Well,
Mr. Joe. It's a cool one. This is a cool one, actually. So Brian's saying, my piano teacher, hang on, I can't even see this. My piano teacher actually it was an actual Black Crow. Eric Deutsch.
Cool. That's how I'd pronounce that. Yeah, I would imagine, right? So.
Yeah, cool.
So.
Right. Okay. Let's.
New Black Crows just came out last week. I haven't listened to it yet. I've listened to the singles, but I haven't listened to the whole thing yet. It's on order. I got it from a local shop.
So I knew it was coming out, but I watched Nick from the Vinyl Den this evening, and he was explaining it. So you know what I'm like? It takes me 2 hours to watch a video. It takes me 2 hours to watch a video because somebody shows something. I have to pause it, and then I have to stream it. Mark's laughing. Mark, are you in the same boat as I am now?
Oh, I do it all the time. All the time. Takes forever.
So my girlfriend Liz says to me, Chris, I'm not being funny, but you've been watching Daryl or Joe for the last hour and a half. What is going on here? Because even the TV's timed out.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm listening to it. Now, the question I want to say to Joe, okay, and want to get both Daryl and Mark's feedback on this. Now, I don't get political on this channel, but I'm about to.
Oh, no.
Joe, Mark's laughing already. He knows where I'm going with this.
This is always death.
So, yes, it is. You should move to Britain. We're run by an imbecile. So, Joe,
Look,
are you worried at the moment, kind of where vinyl records and kind of we're going to run out of, I won't say run out of oil, but kind of run out of the stuff that they make vinyl records from? Are you worried at the moment? Because you take a Taylor Swift record store days coming out with a 7-inch, it's going to probably sell 20 billion copies. Are you worried kind of it could have an impact on the business and selling records, like new releases coming out?
Well, again, it's not like these things are 10, 20 bucks, right? These things are 30, 40 Canadian dollars. So we'll call it 20, 30 American dollars. And I can't do the pound difference, but so that's the thing, because, and whether it will really be because or not, they're going to use it as an excuse. And it probably will be to a certain extent, because petroleum is used in the making of vinyl records and in the shipping. So they got to get the wax there to the place. They got to then make the wax. Then they've got to ship the wax elsewhere. So, do we see another $5, $10 in just those behind the scenes costs from record labels? And again, whether because they're not going to eat any of it. They don't give a rat's ass. If it costs them another $10 to make a record, we're all going to be paying that extra $10. Columbia not Columbia, Universal, RCA, they're not going to go, oh, that's okay, we'll eat it this time. You guys keep buying records, because that's just never going to happen. Well, because they'll just say, I'll just go stream it, because I think they care about the vinyl business. They keep putting them out. But again, I don't think they care necessarily about the buyer and the price that these things are at, because people keep buying them at $50, $60, $100 in some cases. That was the long answer. Daryl, your turn.
He's eating those gummies again.
I'm eating gummies. Rings.
It's the ones we shouldn't broadcast on a live stream.
Yeah. No, I think last week I had asked that same question. Do we think that vinyl records are gonna do kind of what they did in the late 80s, early 90s, where they were at a peak in the early 80s, and then they did this with the re-implementation of CDs. But what I'm noticing is you go to like a Sunrise or whatever, you go in there and you see all these box sets and all of this kind of thing. But then I look over and I go to the counter, and they're selling cassette tapes now. Tapes for $30 Canadian.
Oh.
I'm like, first of all, I mean, whatever, to each their own. But who wants to frickin' buy that bullshit all over again?
Daryl, can I ask a question though? When it comes to the tapes they're selling, does it come with a free pen so you can rewind it?
Tape.
Like, I mean, are we gonna start going back to manufacturing 8-tracks again too? Like pick, take a lane and stay in that lane. I mean, I just don't know anybody, unless they're an absolute hardcore music collector, that's going, hey, I'm going to spend $100 on cassette tapes, ship it to me. Like, I don't understand that logic. And like you said, with the cost of all these goods and stuff going up, I mean, who's going to want to pay $50 for a cassette tape? I don't know.
Those charity shop and thrift stores are going to go up in price.
Yeah, you go to a thrift store, even in Canada. There's like, to buy a cassette tape is still 10 cents to 25 cents at a thrift store. Nobody's buying cassette tapes, but they're manufacturing them.
The re-death of this is that it's going to price itself out of it. And I mean, for right now, everybody is willing to still pay the dollar amounts. But if we literally get to the average prices of $50 for an album, that's going to be tough, even for the most diehard of us vinyl guys, right? I mean, then we're all going back to, and Mark mentioned earlier those OGs, and that's the way to go if you can, because for the most part, if you can find them, they're fairly reasonably priced. But again, so Black Tea, a young band that's putting out an album, it's $50 for that album. And that's, I know that Dawson said that's not a hell of a lot above their cost. Again, I don't know what, like, let's say Third Man Records. I don't know what it costs Jack to make a record that he then sells, and it's probably X amount in his shop, or it's Y amount if it goes through my distributor, and then me on top of that, and then there's shipping, and you can't even see my friggin' hand anymore. So, I mean, at some point, it's not going to be for the love of music that we're not buying things. It's going to be because I can buy a small car for the price of 5 albums. I mean, it's a shitty car, but still. It's ridiculous.
Jack's making a good point here, and I have noticed this in every record shop I've been to recently. And this is the case. Plenty of cassette collectors in the UK. I have found this big time, and I mean, the last 2 I've been to, and I mean, he's got. I didn't put on the video because I'm about vinyl, but there was cassette after cassette. Like, if you noticed last video, there's so many DVDs. That's a new big thing that's kind of kicking off at the moment. People want physical media in every aspect.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing. I mean, are we printing enough? I think, if I remember correctly, there's a Record Store Day album where they're printing 35,000 of them. They used to print 1 million of these things at a pop, right? So I don't know. The Record Store Days thing is not a great example, because that's always because they want to make it a little more limited, et cetera, et cetera. But if they can start to print 100,000 of these things, knowing they're going to sell them, how much can that bring it down? Or do they give a rat's ass? They probably don't care. Again, people keep buying it, so let's just keep seeing how much we can keep putting it up, and they're going to keep buying them.
Can I just show this comment? More than, wait, stop doing this. Can you just stop making me laughing while Joe's trying to talk? I bought a Walkman-sized Bluetooth cassette player called We Are Rewind. And it actually came with a pencil. Who says the French aren't funny? Wow. Comment of the evening. And then Jack is saying, yeah. He sold a few in the last couple of years. So, yeah, okay. We'll keep this moving. Otherwise, the comments are just going to keep flying through all night with the sarcasm. So, Mark, you were talking about earlier on about kind of, did you use the word Nebraska? Did you buy it from Nebraska or something? The last kind of...
Yeah, I bought it from the Bandcamp site, from the Astro.
Okay.
There's somebody walking through my yard. I bought it through the. His name is Psychedelic. He has a YouTube channel, but he also has the Bandcamp, and I bought it through their Bandcamp. But I bought lots of stuff through Bandcamp that just fascinating stuff. I got one today, but it's stuff that's it's not going to have a lot of appeal, maybe even in the VC, but it's just, there's a lot of good stuff out there that, that you'll never hear any other way. And I just love vinyl. If they offer vinyl and I like what they're doing, I will buy it.
So Nebraska.
That's the name of, that's the state it came from. I love Nebraska, the album. You know that already.
I think, are we all on the same page here, guys? When it comes to this album,
I never heard of that album.
I love that album. It's one of my favorites. I don't know. Did you get is that the record, or did you get the box set recently?
Okay, we'll cover that with Joe in a minute. But this is a Vinyl Me Please release.
Oh, okay.
So
looks
this
great. I have a complaint about what's happening to my box set. I'll bring it out and show it, but it's kind of weird.
That's the inside. Obviously, you got all the songs. Mark, I watched the film and it was okay. Joe will tell you it's okay plus. I found it okay. But obviously this came on like a smoky brown kind of effect.
That's cool.
Mate, it's only a slap.
Almost like you can kind of see through the brown smoke.
So Mark, this is the Vinyl Me Please, like a smoky grey kind of effect from Vinyl Me Please. But yeah, it's this is still my favorite Bruce Springsteen album. Your question was about the box set itself, about Nebraska. The best guy to talk about this is my good mate Joe. Joe, you've said before, what did you think of the box set itself? I know you love it, but was it part of it you enjoyed more than others, or was it kind of?
No, I mean, and I've sat down, I've listened to them all at least a couple of times. Now we're talking about the lost tracks, right? Not the Nebraska box set, or are we talking about the
Nebraska box set?
Okay, yeah. So because Bruce has been putting out box sets like crazy lately, right? So yeah. So the lost tracks is really good, and I've listened to that a couple of times through. Nebraska, I find I've been listening to, because I mean I love Nebraska much like everyone else. When I said I didn't know that album, I was being a smartass. I really like I know. I really like the outtakes. That first outtake album that's part of that box set. It's really I really like it. It's good. It's got the the different versions, and I can't remember the one song. What the hell is it called?
The one I like.
What's that?
The one I like is "You'll Miss Me When I'm Gone." That is an amazing track, but I do like the electric version. One of the discs is like electric version. I think.
No, the whole thing's fantastic. But from the outtakes, there's one I should remember what the hell it's called, but where there's some lyrics, and then you're expecting the next part of the song that it became. So there's a lot of really cool stuff in there. And Mark, I should apologize. I say this every time someone new is on a stream with me. I'm an old man with a small bladder and a big cup. So if I leave when you're talking, take no offense. Okay. So yeah, don't take any offense. It's like, where the hell did he go? I'm talking here. The guy buggered off. So yeah, Nebraska. Yeah, that box set's really good. I really like it, as is Lost Tracks too. Actually, that's very good as well. And then we get Bruce in concert for Record Store Day, and so we'll see about that one. I don't know.
So, being as we talking about Record Store Day, I just want to show a Record Store Day kind of release that I picked up, and I'm going to be honest, I'm done with Record Store Day. I'm just done, because I just feel it's just a cash grab at this point. And people in the chat may disagree with me, but what I found is kind of things like the band, like Jericho and the last album and kind of stuff like this is kind of a cash grab. Now, this was a total cash grab, which in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have bought, but I did. And I wasn't, to be honest, this was an album I wanted to pick up. But if I'd known there was only a couple of tracks on it, I probably wouldn't have picked it up. And this one has literally got 2 tracks, I think. 2-3 tracks. It's The Killers and Bruce Springsteen live in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant, but give us an album. Like, give us a live album or something. Give us a full, not come on. This was a cash grab. Like, you got Killers. We're not selling much at the moment. I'm pretty much done. Greatest Hits is good for me. Daryl's going to laugh now because I said Greatest Hits. But, anything with Bruce on is going to sell. So,
and that wasn't cheap. It's not like that was a 3-song EP for $10. It was not that. That's not the case. So I guess Record Store Day is the one place, for the most part, you do have to actually physically go to the store to get your stuff, though, unless they have extra stock later, and then the day after or 2 days later, they start to sell them online.
Joe, it's got, like, on the one side, it's got Badlands and Dustland, and then on the other side, it's just got Born to Run.
Yeah, I think it was just the encore at a Killers show that Bruce showed up for, or it was planned that way or whatever. So yeah, different story. If Bruce would have been there for the whole show and they would have taped that and recorded that and put that out there, tape that. There's an old saying, but anyway.
But I think I would have preferred, because I'm a Bruce fan. I preferred a Record Store Day live release from Bruce, maybe back into the archives or something, just to get people into. Let's go back to the start with Bruce kind of situation, like a raw kind of, like we had with the Lost Tracks kind of. And I've discussed with you before, and Daryl, the box set is amazing. It looks amazing. But surely they could have expanded that. Like I bought the 2-disc kind of situation, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
But I just feel like if they put a 3rd disc in, just to give you a bit more that you're getting for your money. Like the 2-disc one cost me over £50, which works out about 70 Canadian dollars, 80 maybe at that point. So yeah. Sorry, Mark, you talking about box sets. So you say you're quite disappointed with box sets.
I was talking about this Nebraska release,
Okay.
which I love. I love this thing, but I don't know if anybody else is.
100%.
I noticed that the records aren't warping, but the little book is kind of warping. It looks odd. It's like it's starting to bend up, and I was a little surprised to see that.
That's the only one.
And that's the only thing that bugs me about it. But I love it. I love the album. It's always been a favorite, and I wish the book. I mean, the records are fine, but the book is warping, and that bugs me a little bit.
What do you think?
No, and it didn't take long for it to happen either. Sorry, Chris.
Sorry, mate. Mark, what did you think of the film? Because I've said it was okay for me. I think Joe said okay plus. But what?
I liked the movie. I did a whole review on it, and everybody thinks I'm joking, but I'm not. To me, it wasn't dark enough. I think they glossed over some of the despair there, and it's like, okay, they kind of represented it, but it didn't get into the depth that I thought would be there. I went with a friend who thought it was going to be a feel-good movie, and that was kind of fun. And I said, this is all around that one album that she'd never heard, and I said it's dark. But when I left, I didn't feel satisfied that it was a little. I don't want to say candy coated. It was dark, but I wanted a little more depth. And they kind of skipped over some stuff that I thought they would spend a little more time on. I liked the movie.
Yeah, I just felt they needed a bit more. But so what I was thinking about was we're going to do a new part of the show that is premiering tonight on the Vinyl Man's channel. So I really hope you enjoy this. And this is the section we're going to keep doing every week. So enjoy the intro. So, yes, Joe's going to tell us about a music documentary every week. So, Joe, over to you, mate. What is your first recommendation for a music documentary?
Look, I built the promo, but I haven't really watched anything in the last hour. However, there is Man on the Run. Mark, have you watched Man on the Run? You tell us. You get to do this week's documentary review because suggestion. I know of it. I just haven't got to it yet, but I thought maybe you had. So.
Oh yes, I definitely have, and I really liked it. It's I like the way it was filmed. I like everything about it. The only thing that I don't like about it, or not, that's not even true. I love anything about the Beatles or anything after the Beatles, and this was such an interesting period for Paul McCartney that I really, I was interested in it. The only thing was I didn't feel like I learned a lot more from it, but I did like all the footage in there I'd never seen before. I learned a little more about the other Wings band members. It was kind of cool to see Linda McCartney's photography, and they did this thing where they kind of compared Linda's photography with what Paul was doing. Lots of good stuff in there. I didn't learn a whole lot more than I already knew. So that was, but how much more are you going to learn from these things? These guys' lives have been analyzed and raked over for decades now. So I probably should not have expected to learn anything new. A lot of people were thinking that it was going to be kind of candy coated. I don't think it was candy coated. I mean, they could have gone into. I mentioned on one of my videos, I saw a made-for-TV movie called The Linda McCartney Story, and I learned more from that than I did from this. But the production wasn't good. It wasn't a great movie. I loved the documentary. I would recommend it to anybody who was interested in the Beatles, Paul McCartney, or Wings. I just wouldn't go into it thinking you're going to learn a lot. Have you seen it, Joe? Did you say you haven't seen it yet?
No, I haven't yet. For no other reason.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to talk about. There was a couple things that I didn't know about that were kind of interesting, but I don't want to say anything if you haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I just haven't got to it yet because I was too busy building the goddamn promo for it, the weekly review. So I just wanted to see if Chris would spit his water out, but he didn't. So
McCartney is not my favorite Beatle. I don't follow him like I do Lennon. But I mean, McCartney is so important, of course, in the Beatles. I'm not a completist with the McCartney stuff like I am with the Lennon stuff, but
Sure.
It was interesting. And that period was a particularly interesting time. So I think it's a good documentary. I'd recommend it.
I promise I'll watch something for next time, Chris. I will.
So Jack is saying from the Vinyl Voyage, I watched it a few nights ago. Really good. Some great footage up in Scotland. So,
oh yeah, it had some great Scottish footage. Some great stuff. Yeah.
Mark, if you like your alcohol, if you ever go to Scotland, you've got to try the whiskey tour, mate.
Yeah, I would love to go to Scotland and try that whiskey. I think Jack and I would hit it off really good. I think if we drank the whiskey and listened to some of those psych records he's been promoting here lately.
I think you do a whiskey tour with Jack and then wake up the next day and why have I got a tattoo saying I love Dave on my shoulder, probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, Daryl, over to you, mate. Something completely different. So stop eating those gummy bears. You're going to be stoned as hell.
Yeah. How many milligrams in those gummy bears? But so we've talked about a couple of different ways of getting things because you really are the a very good example of you are limited to the number of ways you're able to get your records. So I don't know what else you've done. I guess let's see.
Let's see here. Well, let's do the Discogs eBay route because I've done that a few times, and there's some good and there's some bad. So we'll start with the good. So I did buy this off of a seller on Discogs. I believe it was out of the province of Quebec. And anytime I've ever dealt with this seller, I can't even remember his name. So this is a Canadian, I guess you would call him soft pop. I've talked about him before. His name is Paul Jans, and he's the Electricity album. It's got a song called "I Won't Cry," "Believe in Me," "I Go to Pieces." They're really good songs. Not a Christian musician by this point in the 80s, and then he basically has gone off he stopped doing music altogether now, I think. But a lot of times I find what happens with Discogs is if you go onto a seller's site and you get enough records, like 3 or 4, the shipping costs are actually, I find, not too bad if you're purchasing like 3 or 4, because oftentimes what'll happen is they'll be like, for the first 3 it's this amount, and then 3 to 6 is this amount, right? It's a pretty consistent amount. It's not like, so I find it's almost better, no matter where I was living, to just go up to the maximum amount in that bracket. There's especially if I'm going to get a record like that, was probably $5, but if I'm going to pay the shipping, I might as well make it worth my while. And so what I did was I got a few others to go with it. I got this Chilliwack which is a Canadian 70s rock band, 70s, 80s rock band. And I really like these guys. My mother, on the other hand, despises them. If you know the song "My Girl," she's gone, gone, gone. It's a pretty good song, but it's one of those earworm songs that either you're gonna like it or you're not. It's not on this album, but yeah, it's good old 80s. I'm not gonna say they're Rush because they're not Rush, but they came around the same time as Rush. And the seller that sold these to me, you know, packaged really well, et cetera, et cetera. But on the flip side of that with Discogs are sellers that are new, that they don't rip you off, but they really don't know how to ship or package anything. And if you've watched my channel lots, you know that I'm a huge
Oh, here he is.
fan. I bought this album on Discogs. I had to buy a replacement for it because when I got this album in the mail, he had packaged it so bad that there was an edge warp that you couldn't play the first 3 songs on the album on either side because it was that bad. It was rain damaged, water damaged. So you really have to watch it. But the funny thing is when I looked in the comments section, it said that it was he was a good seller and all this stuff. So maybe he was just having a bad hair day. I don't know. But you know, you got to really watch it. And then on the flip side, because I've only bought off eBay once, I got this from Jamaica. It's actually a Jamaican press, Reggae-matic Sounds. I think it's reggae songs from before, you know, Bob Marley and stuff. It's kind of like the origins of reggae. This is a compilation of 60s and early 70s reggae music. And it was packaged phenomenally on eBay from that seller. But the shipping was nowhere near what we would pay now. I bought that, I think, probably 15 years ago. So that's how that goes. So, you know, I've done the Discogs eBay thing before. I'm very hesitant on Discogs if it's not a seller I've purchased from before. Been hearing about a lot of these Discog sellers that claim that they're sellers and all this stuff, and then you get ripped off. You know, places in Russia and certain parts of Asia are banned. It's hard to buy stuff from a place like Brazil because they're almost banned. I don't know if people are just scamming in those locations or if it's just a case of misunderstanding and not sure. But yeah, ultimately that's kind of where I've been going. Gee, for sure.
Trevor.
Hey, speaking of Richard Marx, did you see he's now a judge on The Voice of Australia? He judges the singers along with Mel C from the Spice Girls.
Can we just don't use this? Can we just judge the judges on The Voice? So who's the judges on The Voice in Canada?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
I don't think we even have The Voice. We have Canadian Idol, or we did anyway, and it was Sass Jordan was on there for a little while. So yeah, I don't even know if we have The Voice Canada anymore.
I think we had The Voice of Canada, and I think it was run out of the province of Quebec. So I think it was mainly French musicians that were on that we wouldn't really know too much.
Mark, have you got The Voice USA?
I don't know if we do or not. I hate those shows with such a fucking passion that I would never watch it, even if we did have it. The things I've seen, it's horrible. I would not want to be judged by these people.
Do you know who one of the main judges is in the UK?
No.
Oh, it's yeah, I know who it is. It's Mr. Walsh himself.
Hang on. Let me make it big. You want to use the word "sir" before his name?
His name
Sergio
is
Walsh.
Tom Jones.
Oh, yeah. Tom Jones.
It is.
It's
Tom Jones. He's Welsh, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, mate. You can't get more Welsh than Tom Jones.
There's a good story about Tom Jones and John Lennon you probably know about. So.
No, go on. Tell us. Go on.
Tom Jones came to watch the Beatles practice before one of their televised shows, and John Lennon started making fun of, it's not unusual to be a unicorn or something like that. Just was making fun of the lyrics. And Tom Jones got really angry, and John Lennon called him a Welsh poof. And it was going to be a big old fist fight. And Paul McCartney came out and broke it up and said, that's just the way he is. It's a joke. He's not insulting you. That's how he befriends people. And kind of
And
a
the next thing
famous
you
story.
know, John Lennon's got 2 black eyes and he's knocked out.
Yes. John Lennon was a scrapper, though. If you read any of those stories, the Beatles were scrappers. The Rolling Stones get the reputation as being the kind of tough guys of rock and roll, but even Mick Jagger said, "Oh, geez, no, the Beatles were in fights every freaking night."
So, Mark, you love the Beatles, right? Do you know the
Yes, I do.
story? Do you know the story how the scar on Ringo happened?
My guess is, I don't know the story. My guess is when he replaced Pete Best, I know that the crowd was very angry, and George Harrison got a black eye trying to defend Ringo. But I don't know the scar.
It's put it this way. We call it, we're going to bottle you.
Bottle.
Nice.
So literally a bottle.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to show an album that's going to piss off the entire live stream, but Daryl is going to love it.
Oh, God.
And he wants this album off this artist. Any idea, Daryl? What about the show?
Off the top of my head, no. But I'm sure I'm gonna. Oh, John Mayer, yes, for sure. Heartbreak Warfare is on there.
I love
No?
John, brilliant guitarist. If you think of John Mayer as a pop artist, think again. He is a blues artist.
Mhm.
Listen to his guitar. Listen to the way he can just play a guitar for 20 minutes and then start singing. He's amazing. I love John.
I've always thought of John as a blues guy.
He done a concert with BB King, and just watch it on YouTube. Him and BB King are sitting down in front of like 10,000 people, and they're just talking and just going for it. But I love John Mayer. He's brilliant. Love him.
Why would people be pissed off at that? I think there's a lot of them.
A lot of people in the violin community hate John Mayer. And Joe, this brings it all back. This was the first album I ever bought when starting collecting vinyl records.
There you go. Perfect. That's good.
And I had to buy it online. Because I went to the local record shop and they were like, "Who's John Mayer?"
Really?
Well, he's not big in the UK. Like, he's not at all.
Oh, that's strange.
But over America,
I've never had any disrespect for John Mayer, and I've always considered him a blues artist.
But he's got some good tracks on your Heartbreak Warfare, Daryl.
It's an amazing song.
Half My Heart. Who says I can't get stoned? That says it already, doesn't it? You've got War of My Life, Edge of Desire. I just love John. So, and he's in the studio doing a new album. So great. Right, let's go to Joe. Because he's been quiet the last 10 minutes. I'm not worried about it.
Joe was just looking back at the comments. There's a lot of comments today. Thanks, everybody, for being with. Yeah. I would think Gino Vanelli had the haircut before, and that's my take on that. I could be wrong. And then Trevor had a good comment here. Where was it? Geez, yeah, there are lots, but where did it go? There it is. This one. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, Motorhead, the gentleman from Motorhead, right, passed away. So I think you and I were talking a little bit about that. I don't think Trevor and I were, but
so he's from Pontypridd, where Tom Jones is from in Wales. Yeah.
So another Welshman has passed, unfortunately.
And the lead singer from Boston has died as well.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. What a feeling. Is that the one? Is that the guy?
More
Nope.
Than a Feeling is Boston. Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Not
right.
sung any way like that in any way, shape, or form. You shouldn't get a strike though, because nobody's going to be thinking that was the
Oh,
Boston.
what a bitch. What a bitch. Go on.
Sorry. So buy local when you can. I think we established that early. Buy online when you have to. We talked about Bandcamp. That's a way to get things. We talked about eBay. That's a way to get things. The other one, and I'm not sure how much it factors in for you guys, Daryl, I don't think it does maybe necessarily at all for you, but I buy for the shop and for personal reasons before I had the shop, Facebook Marketplace, people locally, other vendors, other guys, there's always that. And so one that I picked up recently, speaking of Mr. Springsteen, this was from a gentleman that I got from locally because he was advertising it, and it is the Seeger Sessions. This is a really good Springsteen album. And I say it's a Springsteen album because it's Bruce singing it, but it's all Pete Seeger songs. It's all really, really good. We Shall Overcome, 13 traditional songs associated with the legendary Pete Seeger. But this I bought off of a Facebook Marketplace. Actually, I bought it off of a vendor from one of the record shows that I used to put on. Good dude. But yeah, that's the other option. And I don't know, Chris, I don't know if that's an option for you, if there is a Facebook Marketplace, or we've got another one called Kijiji here. We've got one called Barrage Sale. I'm lucky because I have that as an option. Daryl doesn't. I mean, I don't know how many other record
Actually,
there are.
It's funny you mentioned that, Joe, because I'm going to hold this up. I don't know if I'm frozen. Van Halen, this one here. What is this? 1984. I got this off Kijiji. I bought this off of a guy that was obviously I couldn't drive to his place, but he was like, "Hey, I've got entire set trying to get rid of this collection. I'll go to the post office and see what the shipping is to get it from North Bay to you, which is about a, if I was driving here, it's like 4 hours to the train and then a train ride. For him to send me 4 lots of records, and I think in each lot was 8 records. So, you're looking at, 8 times 4, that's what, 32 or so. He sent me them all for the same price as normal shipping. And Van Halen in 1984, which is a great record, came with it. So yeah, if you don't know what Kijiji is, it is like a marketplace or whatever. And so do I normally go on Kijiji to get things? No. But if the shipping is right, I bought some NES games off of there and things like that too. So yeah, I do have access to it. It's just up where I am. There's not many people that use it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Sure. I mean, I've got a bit of a wider base that I'm able to buy from. Trevor is talking about selling some stuff on Facebook Marketplace, so that's almost becoming a secondary eBay type of a market as well, because there is the local guy where he lives down the street from me and I go and buy it, or there's someone like Trevor, so it's still on Facebook Marketplace. I can still connect with them and make that purchase and do that. And actually, I think that's a good way of doing it. If you can find stuff on a Facebook Marketplace, not that Meta needs any more of our money, but unlike eBay, there is no transaction fees per se. I mean, you have to trust the person you're buying from. You have to go through the hoops of probably an e-transfer of some sort or some form of a payment and things like that. But, there's not that extra cut out of eBay. So if you can find some stuff that way, again, for me, it's nice because I buy locally and I just drive over there and pick it up. So I don't know, Mark, if you've got that as an option where you are, if there's some place close enough, if you use that as a place to purchase at all or not.
I have not, but I've had friends who know I'm into vinyl. Hey, did you see this on Marketplace? So I've never taken advantage of it, but I'm aware of it.
Yeah, just another way. There are so many different ways for us to find our vinyl. Now, the Facebook Marketplace of the world, there are some insane prices out there. I mean, obviously we're all aware of what it should probably really cost, but I run a Facebook page for Saskatchewan vinyl lovers. And, and I try and drive home the point. If you're new to this hobby, love, whatever you want to call it, and you see something for sale, ask the rest of us if that price is correct, because I'd like to think that the rest of us would go, yeah, that's fair. That's what I'd pay for it. Not $150 for, Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA. Love the album, but it's a $10 album all day. But one person saw one person on Discogs or eBay ask $100 for it. They think that's what it's worth. So there was a what was it? Oh, it was a Leonard Skinner Street Survivor, and it was the fire one. So, that factors in. Actually, I think those are easier to find than the other. She wanted $150 for it. So I just hope and pray, not that I'm a religious guy, but I hope that nobody went, oh man, I want that record. That must be a fair price, $150. But
yeah, that happened to me. I went to an antique kind of a thrift store. I mentioned this on a live stream. Oh, I don't know if it was a month or two ago that we were on, and I saw same thing. I saw a mint original pressing of a Sade record, and I was excited. It was the one that had, I think, Smooth Operator and stuff like that on it. And she wanted $100 for that, and I'm like, "Are you out of your mind?
Yeah,
It's Sade.
Yeah,
we're not talking about an original pressing of the Meat album there by the Beatles. We're talking Sade here.
Darryl, do you know it's spelled Sade?
Sade.
Sade. Bring that one up that you had there for a second, and we're going to talk about it. That one from Jack, right? Nothing better than buying a collection in the wild, and he is 100% correct. That one, right? So, it's fantastic. It really is. I've only done cocaine once in my life. I think I'm okay to say that on here. Well, I'm just saying, I only did it once.
Every live stream, he mentions cocaine.
What? I only did it once. I was drunk a whole bunch, but I only did it once. Anyway, I don't know if it compares to that or not, but it is definitely a rush of some sort when you buy, and whether that's 20 albums or 2,000 or 3,000 like I have before. But and a repress of Sade and or a good original actually should probably cost you. I think I have sold them regularly $20 to $25 in the shop Canadian. Mm-hmm. So sorry.
Right. Talk about cocaine. Okay, Mark. You right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So, what have we got? Show us something.
Oh, look at this beauty.
Nice.
What's that? It's like Lord of the Rings thing going on. Yeah. What's happening?
This thing scared me to death when I was a kid. My brother-in-law had it, and he'd place it in the basement, and he would say, "Hey, can you go run into the basement and pick me something?" And he'd have this album out there because he knew it scared me to death. It's the Edgar Winters Group. They only come out at night. It has Frankenstein on it and Free Ride. This is an album I got just from, I think it was at Antique store, so it wasn't a real record store, but this is just something I picked up. It wasn't something I went out looking for again, but it was something I saw it and I'm like, oh, I have to have this, and it's really good. It's really good. So I've been dying to show this. I was just going to
nice.
But it freaked me out when I was a kid.
Antique shops can be insane, much like Trevor says here. Found $1 billion babies from Alice Cooper in an antique shop, $65. And let's be honest, there are some $65 $1 billion babies, but it's the one with the panties still attached and all of that. But
that schools out, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
It schools out that has the panties.
Well, I've done a lot of cocaine, Mark, so just leave me alone, would you? Okay.
Right. Okay. I'm going to go next. Right. Okay.
Anyway, the point is that antique shops are not a very good place to buy that in my history of buying stuff.
Right. This was like $5, I think.
Good. That's good.
But
we got about 10 minutes left, so I'm going to just flick through quick what I picked up from record shops traveling through Wales. Okay. Up to you guys when you want to show left, but I'm going to show record shops. Lemonheads.
Nice.
Got back into the Lemonheads recently. Absolutely love them. This is called Love Chant. and it's amazing. If you want to check out a song from this album, it is 58-second song, which is there on the first side. That's what got me back in Lemonheads. A good track to check out is Outdoor Type that they brought out, obviously because of that cover. This is on white vinyl, and some apparent reason it's on red in the middle. No idea why. Second album I picked up from a record shop for £1.50. You Canadians are going to love this. It's the Gordon Lightfoot. Now, you know
I love Gordon Lightfoot.
He's one of the greatest
I just bought some Gordon Lightfoot.
singer-songwriters of all time for me.
In fact, I had Gordon in my stack here.
This is how old this is.
Yikes.
Yeah.
on the reprise label. That's all right. Covers are covers, man.
So you got Rainy Day People, Cold on the Shoulder, The Soul of the Rock, Bells in the Evening, so on, so on. Okay, I'll pick this one. And then I'll pick one more, and then we move on. The Band. Now, you can see how old this is. Still got the old sticker on it, which I didn't have, but Rock of Ages. Joe and Daryl, I think this is my 8th or 9th Band album. Original.
Yep.
I think I picked this up for £10, which is not bad, really.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great album.
He did say in the record shop, he's like, it's a bit beat up. I'm like, mate, it's about the music.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
It's about the music. And then the last one I picked up from the record shop that I wanted to pick up for such a long time, and if anybody watches Steve Carlson's channel, you know what I'm going to pick next. It's the Lars. He's got 2 of them behind him every video he does.
He does, yep.
So
that's why I stopped watching Steve Carlson's channels.
Well, because you got 2 behind him.
Back at you.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. It's great.
I got my eye on you. So, yeah, the big one on you, There She Goes. Brilliant track. But the album is fantastic. I mean, brilliant. And if anybody's interested, this did come on colored vinyl, and it was on a Coke green vinyl. You can't see that because my lighting is shit, but it is on Coke green. So
nice.
There you go. That was mine. Let's go to Mark. No, hang on. I've left him out so long. I apologize profusely, Daryl. It's up to you, mate. There you go. Sorry.
All right, so I'll show them all here. I got a few, so I'll try to do it quick.
Okay.
So yeah, I try to support local shops whenever I can. Back last June when I was sick and I got out of the hospital, I bought a couple from some local shops down in Kingston. Madonna's Who's That Girl? Good price, right? I'm not paying shipping on that. It was $10 for that, and it's pretty much near mint condition. Then you come out with another Madonna one, but this is the one that you guys always think it's funny because I smell this record. It smells like that patchouli. And if you go on Discogs, it actually talks about the smell of that, Like a Prayer album. And then I talked about that store that sells. There's a store in Timmins called Altered Reality, and he has like one shelf of records, but the rest of the store is used books and NES games and all that kind of stuff. And speaking of Gordon Lightfoot,
oh yes, mate,
got that at a local shop in Timmins, and that's an OG. The only thing I hate is you can see that is when they put the sticker right on the cover. That's not on the plastic. It's right on the cover, and I hate it when they do that, but it is what it is, right? You can't really go back from that. Last summer I went into a shop. This kind of drives me crazy though, because these are 2 good albums. OMD, this is a really good album, and I also bought the Soft Cells Nonstop Cabaret, and then I walked over to the 3 for $10 shelf. And so I ended up getting this Aerosmith album. That sticker is on the plastic. So I got Aerosmith's Rocks. And I got a few other albums that were there. But what drives me crazy is when you see another album, like I was like, okay, I just bought, so it's 3 for $10. I picked up 8 albums out of the bin, but I couldn't find a 9th one that I didn't, that I wasn't really interested in. And I found a record that I knew was like $1 or $2. You can find it at every single thrift store in the world. And I said, hey, could you include this as part of the 3 for $10? And the woman's like, no. And I'm like, I'm just buying all this shit. And it's like, so she wanted me to pay $5 for the record, which was the I forget what it's called. Anyway, it's the one with the whipped cream on the front that you can buy at any thrift store in the world. She wanted $5. I was like, could you just throw it in with the 3 for $10 deal here? And she was like, no.
Daryl,
so it actually put me off that if I ever went back to that record store again, I don't know if I would buy much from them.
Daryl, hang on 2 seconds. Mark, what is it?
It's that Tijuana band, Herb.
Alpert, yeah.
Yes, Herb Alpert.
Tijuana Brass, whipped cream and other delights.
Yes. Everybody has that. Even I have.
And you know what's funny? I've never actually seen it in a thrift store. I've never seen it. All right, I've got about 6 or 7 more to go, so I'll do these real quick. I'm going to show these ones, all 3 at the same time. To save on shipping, I actually got Hootie and the Blowfish, Alice in Chains Tripod, and this Vertical Horizon album.
Nice.
With free shipping. It came with free shipping. So as long as I got it to a certain price point, it was free shipping, and I'm always good with that. This is the only case in my whole thing where I'm going to show, these 3, I'm going to show not local. So, but this was like 50% off stuff. So at Kohl's, Indigo, my son loves this album. I've shown him on there. But, if I see a 50% off sale on brand new mint in the shrink, I'm going to take that every minute of the day.
Yes.
Of course, Alanis Morissette's, supposed former infatuation junkie. Sunrise actually gave me a good deal on this. Sometimes not all box stores have dickheads for managers. The box set for this Van Halen Balance album was like $300 on the wall. And I was like, I can't justify that. My wife would kill me if I paid that just for this. And he's like, well, let me go look over there. I might have a copy of the just the record itself. And he found me this, and it was on I don't know, be able to get it out. Yeah, on a nice orange vinyl. It's a see-through orange, with the etching in it. I know some people don't like the etching on the 4th side, but I'll take it. And then to kind of finish this all off, my trip to Spain last year, whenever I traveled internationally, I always try to go in and support local shops. And sometimes they get you some really good stuff. This is an OG pressing of a Spanish band, El Ultimo de la Fila. It's like 1980s new wave stuff. And then I've talked about Los Planitas. This is a repress. The guy said that it had just come out. He gave me a good deal on it. He was super excited that, somebody from overseas came in the store. And then last but not least, I bought this album here. If Richard's still in the comments, he'll remember a comment I made last week on a live show. Decima Victima. This album here is dark wave, kind of like Joy Division in their early stages. It reminds me of music you would hear walking into a 1980s S&M club, and that's all I'm going to say. So that's how I do my shopping.
Nice.
Very cool, mate.
So you've been walking into S&M clubs, Daryl?
Well, I wouldn't say I've been walking into them, but I've watched
Stumbling
a few movies
into
in my
them.
days.
A friend
Watched
of
a few
friend
movies in my
told me.
days.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, Mark, what have we got left, mate?
I'm just going to show this. I've been showing stuff I got from around town, but this is something I ordered new, a reissue. XTC Drums and Wires, their debut album. It's always been a favorite. It has the Nigel song on here, Making Plans for Nigel. Complicated Game is my favorite on there. very influential for me when I started collecting records again. That's one I just bought new. So that's what I did.
Cool.
That's all I have. I have some more, but it's not very exciting.
Joe.
All right, quick. So Richard asked about record fairs. Yes, another great option of a place to go, whether it's a record fair or a boot sale or along the lines of that. Fairs, obviously, there's more vendors there, things like that. We talked a little bit about that last week, so you can go back and watch on Chris's channel about record fairs with us. And yeah, so watch that. But another great place to go shopping. And Trevor, I would love to see you listening to that to that Herb Albert album with your with the horns up, my friend. There you go. Lastly, another great place is obviously you go to the show and you buy the album at the show. Now it's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass if you buy it early because they only have so many and then you got to hang on to it. Hopefully it's a venue where you can buy it and then take it out to your car, leave it in your car. And or what's nice too, they'll sign them. A lot of the times it depends on the size of the band. There's a lot of bands you're never going to see them. You can buy their album, you can buy their vinyl from them, but you're never going to see them. But that black tea, that was signed, that was bought at a show. That's where that came from. I've got a few more where I bought them at the show and had them signed. And then the only other one I'll show is this is City and Color Dallas Green. Really good. And this was limited tour exclusive. So there are the exclusive ones where you can only get them on their website. There's record store day exclusive. There's also tour exclusives where they've printed X amount. They take those ones out on tour. Those are the ones that sell. Sometimes you're able to get them later as well. So just another fantastic way to buy an album is to actually get it right at the live show, especially with those new bands. With the big bands, there's going to have some stuff out there. But if you're going to go and see a band, and a lot of openers are starting to now press their vinyl, that's a great place to pick up some vinyl. Usually it's a little less because they're not putting a whole bunch of markup on it. They're trying to sell their merch. They want you to buy their t-shirts and buy their albums and do those types of things. So just a really great place. Another great place to buy, if you can, is right at the show, right live from the show.
Cool. Well done, mate. Well done, everybody. So we'll go through the panel real quick, kind of discussing what you've got, what's coming up on your channel, that kind of stuff. Mark, let's go with you first, mate. Anything coming up on the channel?
Yeah, I got a few things. One of the themes I'm going to work on is I'm calling it the 3x3, 3 triple albums that do not suck. And then I have this, I'm going to do an REM thing on some REM records, a ranking done not by me, but by YouTube and by my Instagram account. So it'll be a lot of fun.
I do love the video you put up. Was it the likes on Instagram?
Yes, that's what it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Love it. Daryl, no threads, mate. What the fuck is going on with you?
I know. I just haven't had time to make any videos, but guess what? It's the March break here in Ontario, so I might make a few videos before I head out on Thursday's train. I got to go to a hockey tournament Thursday. So Brian from Embryonic Robot has the album covers that don't match the title one. That's a cool one. I might do that one. And I want to do the other soundtrack video of my own soundtracks that I have. And maybe one of these days I'll do, because I've thought about this, video game albums that I have in my collection, because I do have quite a few video game soundtracks. So I might go with that. We'll see.
I'm still waiting for you to do your game boards.
Oh,
ranking.
You mean like board games that match with album titles? Oh, and just to promote Joe's channel, on the 23rd, you can see Northern Vinyl Guy play Jeopardy 2, but I'm not going to spoil it. I may or may not have been as good or bad as Chris. I'm not sure yet.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Might have been as good.
We all know how this is going to end. Joe.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. There is existing versions of Rock and Roll Jeopardy for those that might just be tuning in at this point. It's just an online game show. We have some fun. We play rock and roll trivia. It's great. There's a new episode tomorrow night, depending on when you see this. And then there's some older ones. And then they're scheduled every Monday coming up, including Daryl, including Chris, including a bunch of my buddies. And Mark's going to be on at some point. I did a video the other night. I got a whole bunch of new subscribers. Alex did a very nice video of some VCLT that I sent him. And I think a bunch of people hopped on in the last little while. So I thought, oh shit, if people are going to be joining, I better have something for them to watch. Besides the one thing, there's all the old stuff. But did some new releases, some things that I picked up in March and February. And some were brand new the day I just got them. They weren't even out of the shrink yet. But I thought I would do that. So yeah, trying to do a few more. Trying to still do the live thing as well. I really, really love this a lot. So I really love to do the live, but I'm going to try and have for sure the Jeopardy stuff every Monday and then some other things thrown in from time to time. Thrown in. Okay, done. So your turn. What about you? What's on at the Vinyl Man? Where are you going next?
So I've got some exciting news to share with everybody. I'm gonna have the West next week. A new record shop has just opened, but there's some amazing news coming soon. Oh fuck it, I'll just say it now. The oldest record shop in the world is in Cardiff in Wales, and I've managed to contact the manager, and he's going to do an interview.
Yeah, good.
So I'm going to take you behind the scenes of the oldest record shop in the world.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
so, yes, Joe, I will send you a T-shirt, and Daryl and Mark. You'll all get a T-shirt. Just send me your sizes, because I don't want to ask you and you go, you son of a bitch. That's it, Daryl. Hang on. Hang on, Daryl. Hang on. Let me make you big. 2 secs. Hang on.
Things that sound dirty but aren't in the VC. Let me make you big. Hold on.
Oh, disappointment.
There it is.
Spillers.
Yes, Spillers in Cardiff are the oldest record shop in the world.
It's out of my around the world in 80 record stores book.
Yeah,
Amoeba's in there too.
That's the plan going forward. I would like to thank all my guests this evening. Daryl, love having you on. You know our mate. Brilliant. Mark, thank you so much for coming on. You've been amazing tonight. Joe, as always a pleasure.
Always.
Even though you take so much cocaine.
I have one last question before you wrap up.
Okay.
Do you know what my favorite Eric Clapton song is?
I bet I know.
Is it cocaine? Is it a Cream song or a Clapton song?
No, Mark
got cocaine.
It. It's cocaine. Come on.
Right. Yes. Right. That was taking the piss. Right. Okay. Thank you for watching. I appreciate everybody. Thanks for everybody who's left comments. Everybody's going to watch this later. I do appreciate it. I will leave in the description all the channels. Go and subscribe to them. They're amazing channels. And if you haven't watched Mark before, why he's not over 1,000 subscribers is beyond me.
Yeah.
Same as Joe. Same as Daryl. They're amazing channels. Very educational. Very up to the point of everything. And next week, we've got Steve Carlson on, and we're going to do punk. So thank you very much, and good night.
The Vinyl Man!